So, the 2025 Super Bowl that went down this weekend, some record viewing numbers reported this time around. Some of the biggest names in the world, from music to sports. Of course, some names being bigger than the others, but we'll leave that up for debate. The biggest celebrities, the who is who in various fields around entertainment, and everyone in between attended the Super Bowl. The standout performance, apart from the actual Super Bowl win which saw the Eagles absolutely demolish the Chiefs and root their second win, making them two-time champions in franchise history, being Kendrick Lamar's performance in the halftime show, which also made history in a whole host of ways. President Donald Trump became the first president to attend the Super Bowl, and the whole thing around it was quite interesting. A good night basically in so many ways, except for a few people. Obviously, the Chiefs were disappointed as they were looking to win their third consecutive Lombardi trophy, but they lost 40-22.
People hate the Chiefs? I didn't know that.
Worth pointing out is the fact that a lot of football fans have turned against the Chiefs, having replaced the Patriots with Tom Brady being a recognizable figure the fans love to hate.
Every great dynasty that spends too long at the top eventually faces the wrath of every other bitter franchise's fan base. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and company have officially become the villain of the NFL, picking up right where Tom Brady left off. The trajectory of an elite athlete is always the same. Their come up is celebrated. Patrick Mahomes' immediate emergence as a standout quarterback was a ton of fun for everybody who appreciated the NFL. But the come up starts to fade fast, especially if they're winning too much. Patrick Mahomes has done nothing but win, so now fans are starting to hate him for it. But how did it come to this? What does it really take for the hero to become the villain? Winning is certainly a major part of it. Patrick Mahomes has now made it to 6 straight AFC championship games since becoming the Chiefs starting quarterback, and winning 4 of those to advance to the Super Bowl. He's got 2 rings and may have a third one by the time you're watching this video.
Why football fans, non-Chiefs fans, hate the Chiefs? It is so frustrating as a non-Chiefs fan that at the end of every single game, in the most pivotal moment, something goes their way. It doesn't make sense. As a non-Chiefs fan, we watch, because they're in prime time every single week, so non-Chiefs fans see a lot of Chiefs games. Every single close game, something pivotal goes their way that hands them the win.
But some quarterbacks take a lick and just get on with the next play. Some have plays that go against them and simply blow their heads and leave the field. Patrick Mahomes has become notorious for complaining to the referees on just about every call that doesn't go exactly as he had hoped it would. I mean, it's actually insane. If a flag isn't thrown downfield and Mahomes believes that there should have been one, or even if the Widow Baby is touched just a tad bit late, the dude's going to let the refs know about it. I mean, it's an absolute bad habit, and sports fans are starting to take notice on it. He'll be all in the referee's personal space with that look of the spoiled child on his face, demanding answers as to why the flag wasn't thrown several times a game. He expects to get the call now, and when he doesn't, he's not happy about it. I mean, take the Buffalo game for example. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs had a touchdown ripped off the board on what would have been an all-time great play in which Travis Kelce lateraled the ball to Kadarius Toney for a score. It would have been the difference in the game, but was pulled back because Toney had lined up offsides. And when the game was over, Mahomes launched his helmet and had to be restrained by several teammates as he let the referees hear it as to what he thought of the decision. He then made it clear to Josh Allen that he thought it was a terrible call when they shook hands at the 50-yard line.
Offensive offside. Fucking terrible. Fucking worst call I've ever fucking seen, man. For him to throw that flag, no explanation, no anything, and I saw the picture, and I mean, he probably is, I mean, barely offsides, but for him to take the game into his hands over a call like that doesn't affect the play at all, didn't affect anything. I mean, it's just tough, man. And like I said, man, that's a Hall of Fame tight end making a Hall of Fame play that won't be shown because we threw a flag for an offensive offsides. And so it takes away from not only this game and this season, but from a legendary career that Travis has had. And I mean, that hurts me because I know how hard he works for it.
One person who it wasn't a good night for this time around was Taylor Swift, who was actually booed, and not jeers or hush sounds of disapproval, actual boos, by the Eagles fans in the stadium.
or crying for you. Someone cried for the motherfucking Kansas City Chiefs. Wow, what a piece of shit performance. I mean, when I say this was a piece of shit, like hot steaming, the best part was when they panned the camera to Taylor Swift. Boo! It was crazy. They violated. She was looking around like, oh shit. The nigga Travis Kelce was sweating. Like, nigga was thinking about, I'm not pulling the ring out at all. Like, oh my God. Like, this was such a piece of shit. And the Eagles, you know, Philadelphia probably burning down right now. Like, all the bird gang, they probably burning that to the ground. You know, the crazy. They probably greasing poles, trying to climb them shit. Fucking Eagles jerseys and shit. Gilly the Kid is probably fucking.
In 2024, amid the Eras tour, Swift performed in Tokyo, then dashed to Vegas for the Super Bowl. In that Super Bowl, Swift and her boyfriend, Kansas City tight end Travis Kelce, shared a moment at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas as the Chiefs won their second successive Super Bowl. In so many ways, you could argue that Swift had a good night last year as she enjoyed a lot of support from the pro-Chiefs crowd and got to party with her friends throughout the game. By the second half, with the Eagles in total control of the game, cameras were really avoiding Swift. And the Swifties came to their idol's defense, really putting on a fight online. Apparently, it's not the first time Taylor Swift has been booed, with the NFL and the broadcasting partners receiving a lot of backlash for the last 2 seasons for showing too much of Taylor Swift in the various games she has attended to support her boyfriend.
People hate the Chiefs. I didn't know that. Why are you guys leaning into this whole ref thing? You know, why are you guys leaning into it?
Shut up, bitch!
The Chiefs are not making the playoffs. Raiders are going to win. Chargers are going to get in as well in that wild card spot because I think the Chargers are going to be nice. They're not even making the playoffs. You, Travis Kelce.
It's one of those things where the Chiefs had one of those seasons where everyone's like, are they dead? Is it over? Are they finally the lack of talent at wide receiver, the drops, all that stuff? Is Travis Kelce too focused on Taylor Swift type of deal? And now all of a sudden we're back in the AFC Championship again. Like how much longer can the world doubt Patrick Mahomes?
And failed, giving her a friendship bracelet in a game against the Bears. But a relationship blossomed after she attended a game following a promise to do the same.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I know you went to the Taylor Swift concert. How was it?
Yeah, well, I was disappointed that she doesn't talk before or after her shows because she has to save her voice for the 44 songs that she sings. So I was a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her.
You made her a bracelet?
Yeah, if you're up on Taylor Swift concerts, there are friendship bracelets. And I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it. Not right now.
Your number's in 87 or your phone number?
You know which one.
Fans noticed something different about Taylor Swift when she came to watch Travis Kelce play against the Chargers. Before the game, she was spotted in her suite, doing the usual, and cheering on Travis when he came on. But then, fans noticed something different about what she was wearing. Her friendship bracelet actually has the numbers 87 on them, which are the numbers that Travis wears on his jersey. Their relationship might be getting more and more serious.
Swift started dating Kelce in 2023 and has been spotted in a number of NFL games, effectively making the Chiefs a girls' team as her followers allegedly started watching the games and buying football merchandise. Allegedly, there has been increased interest in NFL athletes' partners following the pair coupling up. Now, there's a lot of speculation why Taylor was booed, so let's unpack it quickly. Glamour, through Stephanie McNeil, put out an entire article citing misogyny as the reason why Taylor Swift was booed. The article starts by referring to a rise in misogyny following President Trump's recent election win, beating Kamala Harris and going back to the White House for his second term. The Jumbotron did show quite a number of celebrity faces on the night, with the crowd remaining silent or unbothered for the most part, until Taylor's face came up and, yeah, the boos, to a point she was even seen mouthing, "What's going on?" On the night that Taylor Swift was booed by the Eagles fans, President Trump received overwhelming support from the crowd, with deafening roars and cheers. How did Glamour interpret all this? Well, that the Super Bowl, one of the biggest cultural events in the country, has been reclaimed by Trump and the type of toxic masculinity he appears to be the beacon of. And he and his supporters seem to be living for it. Taking to Truth Social, President Trump did acknowledge that Taylor Swift being booed gave her rough night alongside the Chiefs for losing. Glamour suggests that President Trump, who isn't exactly a Swift fan following her endorsement of Kamala Harris in the just-concluded election, sought to humiliate Taylor further as if the public mockery wasn't enough. Something Glamour refers to as President Trump weaponizing the masses.
Pop superstar Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris for president. In a post to her 283 million Instagram followers, she said, "I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos." That the post from Taylor Swift there on Instagram in the last half an hour. Well,
in 2018, and I'm sure in other elections, the candidates that she preferred didn't actually prevail. But I think what's good is that she is engaging a younger generation, groups of people who hadn't previously been registered, to register and participate in their democracy, and that's healthy no matter who wins.
She posted a picture of herself holding a cat and signed it off as Taylor Swift, childless cat lady, and also referenced in that lengthy post some AI that the Trump campaign has used, showing what she called her fake endorsement of Donald Trump. So will this impact the Trump campaign or people who might have voted for him?
Well, we're going to have to see if polls will reflect that. There's a huge gender gap right now in the support for President Trump and the support for Vice President Harris. So in the end, if Taylor Swift's endorsement can help close that gender gap, then you might see some positive movement. But I'm a Raiders fan. She wears a Chiefs jersey. Probably not gonna help me want to support Vice President Harris and her team. And in the end, it's an endorsement. There are plenty of endorsements that come for each candidate. And do they really make a difference? I don't know. But somebody with the following that she has, if she makes a difference in the youth vote, closes the gender gap in the 7 battleground states, it could be enough. But we'll have to wait and see.
Taylor Swift at the NFL is presented as a cultural shift in the game to include women because Swift is an NFL star now. Glamour, in referring to the backlash against the NFL overly shining the spotlight on Taylor Swift, argue that the male fan base of the sport is opposing her, presenting her as a distraction. With the boos from the Super Bowl being testament of the brothers winning, which according to the author feels gross and mean.
Isn't it one of those things where the Chiefs had one of those seasons where everyone's like, are they dead? Is it over? Are they finally the lack of talent at wide receiver, the drops, all that stuff? Is Travis Kelce too focused on Taylor Swift type of deal? And now all of a sudden we're back in the AFC Championship again. Like how much longer can the world doubt Patrick Mahomes?
Is the NFL overdoing it? What is your honest opinion?
I think everybody's just like overwhelmed
your feelings
with
for Taylor. What is your honest opinion on how the NFL is treating celebrities at games?
I think it's fun when they show who all is at the game. You know, I think it brings a little bit more to the atmosphere, brings a little bit more to what you're watching. But at the same time, I think
they're overdoing it.
They're overdoing it a little bit. For sure, especially my situation.
Right.
I think they're just trying to have fun with it, and a lot of the people watching. Go ahead, let's hear it.
I just think the NFL is not used to celebrities coming to the games. Like basketball has it figured out. They're all courtside. They're sitting there. They show them once or twice, and then they get back to the game. The NFL is like, oh, look at all these A-list celebrities in the game. Keep showing them, show them. Dude, listen. You show them once, let them know they're there. Maybe after a touchdown, you get a little clip, but you can't be overboard with it. People are there to watch the game, right?
Yeah, they're not there to get thrown on TV. I'll tell you what, though.
To the editor of Glamour, Swift being booed is an indicator of Trump dismantling decades of diversity, equity, and inclusion that minorities have fought for. Maybe if Kamala Harris won, Taylor Swift wouldn't have been booed at the Super Bowl, who knows? A lot of people have come out on social media to support Taylor Swift, mostly focusing on her successes in the music industry. Interesting to pick up on the whole support for Taylor Swift is the fact that a lot of it has been tied to the fact that the crowd supported President Trump. The second reason that has largely been floated is the fact that while sports fans are quite passionate about the teams they support, of course constantly coming out, week in, week out, filling stadiums, adoring their favorite athletes from the sports they watch or those they get to see others watch and support, buying their merchandise from their favorite team's shops, some groups of fans are a different breed. Specific to the current situation, the Eagles fans have been known to be very passionate about their team. I mean very, very passionate. It's not even a joke. The Eagles fans actually booed Santa in the 1960s, just to give you a feel of how passionate they are. So, how does the Eagles fans being passionate about their team collide with Taylor Swift being booed at the Super Bowl? Keeping it within the actual Super Bowl, she's a known figure, at least by most people, whether lovers of her music or haters, and she was supporting her boyfriend's team, the Kansas City Chiefs, which was playing the Eagles. So, booing rivals? That should be normal in sports, right? While that holds true, there's more to the story beyond just two teams playing against each other. Taylor Swift grew up in Pennsylvania and was a lifelong Eagles fan. Her father, Scott Swift, was also a lifelong Eagles fan. So what happened? Well, Taylor and her father decided to ditch the Eagles for the Chiefs in support of Travis Kelce, Taylor's boyfriend. In whichever sport, that's a problem. If the fans are as passionate as the Eagles, well, it's definitely a bigger problem, and it's very easy to be on the receiving end of some discontent.